Hi, I'm Jeff Murphy, and we're going to talk about retouching using Adobe Photoshop. Alright, retouching tools. They are located primarily right here. I mean, there's a lot of tools in Photoshop that can be used for retouching, but we're going to talk about these four. Actually, we're not even going to talk about the red eye tool because that's pretty much self-explanatory. We will talk about the spot healing brush, the healing brush, and the patch tool. And we will also look at the clone stamp tool because we use that for just about everything, it seems like. So we might as well pay it a visit. Okay, let's turn off that title. Take a look at this photograph, which you can tell, let's zoom out just a moment, is pretty beat up. Zoom back in. We'll start looking at the big areas, and to do that we'll use the patch tool. The patch tool is probably the handiest tool. It's set in the defaults in your tool options for source, which means you actually circle the areas you want to get rid of and you drag it to an area that's nice and pretty and clean. So I'm starting a little bit small and I'll start getting bigger areas as I have a cleaner area to drag these objects into. See how easy that is? Now what I would do is stay away from these edges for the most part until I have everything cleaned up and then work on the edges last. And it's obviously important where I drag my source to. My destination, I should be paying attention to my destination. If I'm not careful, I'm going to introduce some funny artifacts. Alright, let's see if I can get this big chunk right here and drag it here. Nice. Oops. Okay, so I could go through my document just like that and fix all this stuff in here. Again, I should probably fix these small ones before I go and do the big ones. Okay, now closely related to this patch tool is the one at the top, which is spot healing brush. For this, again, I don't need to sample anything. I can just drag. Let's blow up. And that didn't look so good right there. Let's do some of these. I can just drag through, and it's a brush, so I can use my brackets to decrease my brush size. I'm pressing that guy right there, and to increase my brush size. All right, I need something big enough to cover my distressed area. Let's drag through it like that. Cool. Now, for areas like this, watch, it's not going to do a great job. We're going to use the clone stamp for that. In fact, I'm going to back up just a hair more. So, all right. And here, it was a little too convoluted over here with crap. So, stuff, I mean, it didn't do such a great job. Because if it's pulling from areas nearby and that area is covered with garbage, it's going to be a problem. But notice how great it does with those things. That's wicked awesome. Oops, not okay. I spoke too soon. Alright, cool. So finally, in here we have the healing brush. This is very similar to the clone stamp in that the healing brush asks you to option click to take a sample first. So, for example, if I wanted to try to do this edge along here, I can option click here, and I will get something very similar. Oops, let's try that again. Something very similar. Just what I would get like if I used the rubber stamp or clone tool. In fact, you know what? That's doing a pretty crappy job with that. Let's just jump over to the clone stamp. And we will use the clone stamp. Oh yeah, nicer. Because, you know, remember the clone stamp also has this clone source palette that goes with it, where I can rotate my sample, and I can flip my sample vertically or horizontally. I can do all that stuff. So it's kind of a nice, powerful, wonderful tool. Here I need to make it rotate a little bit, so let's rotate this about -15. Oops, there's my negative. That's great. There we go. For some reason I couldn't. Does not want to take my negative. Okay, so what's 360 minus 15? Oh, I was told there would be no math. What if we tried 345? Alright, there we go. Oh my goodness. I'm not supposed to have to think this late in the evening on that high degree of math. Alright, and you shouldn't have to either. Usually it takes negative numbers. It just doesn't want to cooperate when the video camera's on and everything's being recorded for prosperity. Alright, that's done. Let's do this right here. We can set this back to 0. Thank you, it's working. You know, I bet the Adobe Photoshop evangelists don't ever have this problem when they're working with their machines. But theirs work 100% all the time. Actually, I bet they have editors that cut out all their crap. Oh yeah, I can edit all the crap out. Okay, but I digress. The eye is going to be a hard part. How are we going to do the eye? Well, first of all, we'll try to do this as best we can. Ew. Ew. Let's go back here. This might be a good one for the healing brush. Because what the healing brush should do is preserve the tone that is already there. So if this area is dark, even if you're covering with a light area, it should still stay dark. Let's see if I can find a good example of that. So let's say I'm trying to get this look of this hair over here. Notice when I paint, option click here, when I paint with black, it looks like I'm painting with black. I'm, you know, cloning that black hair, right? But watch, it reverts to the inherent tone of my destination. So it's taking the texture from my source, but the tone from my destination. Now it looks like I got a bullet hole in my head. So that was just an example. I thought that would be a very clear way of showing that. All right, the eye. Let's fix the eye. To do that, we'll take our lasso. We'll use like a 3-pixel feather. We'll go over here. I'm going to hold down the Option key to do a straight line. And then I'm going to do Command C to copy and Command V to paste. It looks better already. And I haven't even flipped it. Yeah, I have not even flipped it. Okay, quit playing with your eye, Jeff. Let's go ahead and flip it. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. You know what? For some weird reason, it looked better the other way, so I'm going to undo that. Maybe I just need it. Yeah, it looks better. Looks better before it's flipped. Don't know why, it just does. Okay, there's my eye. I'm going to bring my layer palette over here and say eye. Then we just need to do a few adjustments to the eye to make it sort of fit in there. First of all, it looks like we're going to need to modify the levels a little bit, so I'll do a level adjustment layer. And remember, if I just did it now, it would affect all the layers under it, including my face. I just wanted to affect my eye. So I click this little guy here, and then I'll clip it to the layer below it, the eye layer. So it indented it, it made the little arrow. It's called clipped. It's clipped to this eye layer. Notice my histogram changed. Can modify this a little bit. I think I need actually a weaker black. And my midtones I need to modify here. Just a hair. There we go. I can close that. Now, of course, I accidentally pulled a little bit of this cut right there, so no biggie. I'm going to go to the eye and just put on a layer mask. Take black. We'll blow this up a lot. Remember, when you're retouching, you should blow. Ooh, that's too much. Blow stuff up quite a bit. And smaller brush. Now the eye under here, unfortunately, has a lot of grain in there. Now I have a Wacom tablet. That I'm using here. Sorry, got lost in thought there for a moment. To make this try to make this look really perfect. Right, sort of build up my mask there. All right. All right, it's not perfect. Looks like I have some sort of weird Oh, it was in my original eye. I guess I do have some weird something going on with my eye. I thought that was a mess up, but no, that's just part of my face. Okay. I think we are done with this. I'm going to turn that off. Obviously, I have a lot more work to do, but you understand the basic tools, and I am ready for bed.